it's a fantastic job, and I'm very happy to have Mr. George Sebastian here. Before I introduce I will just wanted to talk a little bit about my journey and my background, and then I wanted to connect that with the current situation and the current technology. So you all might know, I mean, especially I came to know Joyce Sebastian is from is our alumni. Only recently when this whole thing, he became a star. That's how everybody, came to know. I mean, come to know, even though they are all very talented. So I started, I graduated in 1983. From TKM, the second batch of electronics and communication. So 1980, I think, only Trivandrum and Coilon had the electronics and communication at that time. So total 56 seats. So I am in the second batch. So I graduated in 1983 and joined Tumba, ISRO, and then in 6 months moved to ITA Palakkad, and then moved to Electronic Research and Development Center, ER&DC, in Vellampalam, which was at that time, research center for Keltron. And then in 1987, it was taken over by central government and became part of DOE. And then I was there for till 1989. And then I took a study leave to do my PhD, I mean, master's and PhD. And so the central government had a policy to give, 3 years for masters and then additional 2 years for PhD. So you don't need to resign. So I left there, and along with my wife, both of us did our masters in the same university. It's called Louisiana State University. I did my VLSI. So in ER&DC, I was doing hardware. So I did chip design and very large scale integration. So I want to connect that, to the technology. And then my wife also, she's from Trichur Engineering College, actually Vaishak's alumni. And then, she was a civil engineer and she did her master's in environmental engineering. So anyway, after this was in 1989 and 1989, 91, I finished my master's and then I started my PhD. Both me and my wife started PhD. And then I did the qualifying exam and everything. I got RA, research assistant, and all those things. But it was so looming at that time, the Silicon Valley just started, at that time, Intel and everything just started. So getting calls every day. So I was in New Orleans. So our university was in New Orleans, which is in Louisiana. And then we moved to the Silicon Valley. First I moved here to join a startup. And then that startup was coming out with the DSP chip. So I joined in the technical team. I was the 11th member in that team. And then my wife also ditched PhD and she joined me back in the next semester. And we started our life here in Palo Alto, in the middle of the Silicon Valley, and in near Stanford, which is called Palo Alto. And then, so the DSP chip company grew, and it became physics people, and then we got bought over. And then it was a stream of startups. I worked in 6 startups, and the 7th one was mine. So what I wanted to tell you is, at that time, Silicon Valley is real silicon. There was no software much. So the technology was based on silicon chips, right? All these startups are coming out with the different, in different area. They're making networking chips, they're making IO chips, CPU core, and all things, right? So it's a competition is, how to catch up between CPU core and the IOs. So CPU core increase the frequency, then IO needs catch up. So it is very difficult. So that catch up game went all the way to 2000. And then in 1999, So the hardware, so the reason for the silicon came in is before that, as I said, when I was in ER&DC, everything is at component level. You assemble your PCs, you assemble your mini computers, everything at kit level or component level. So in 1992, 93, that breakup happens, and that is a disruption where people wanted to reduce the area and increase the performance and power. For that, they started integrating more and more into the systems wanted to make it to small and small, so they need to come out with the silicon integration. That's how the chip concept and everything come in, right? So you want to reduce things, and you want to add more and more features into the system, and then that is called the very large integration, right? So that's how the chip development and all those things started. So with that, I grew along with the companies, a new technology, new developments and new systems. And as soon as the hardware, the disruption happens, so that was a disruption. So it's a disruption from the component kit level into a very large scale integration. And then in 1999, another disruption happens because all this infrastructure came in, hardware infrastructure. Now you need applications to support this. So that's how, actually, the guy who started Netscape is just next door my home right now, next door to my home, in the corner. He's the one who started Netscape. So that guy got funded, and another company which I worked, both of us got funded by the same capital investment. So how this study? So there is a innovation every day. So the Silicon Valley happens to be in a way that where Stanford, Berkeley, and all the best universities in the world is in this area, and then the students come out of that with very innovative ideas. And how do you make it to fruition? Because of the economic engine. So you need ideas, you need universities to make you think and come out with innovative ideas. And to make it fruition, you need the economic engine, which is called the capital investment. So there were a lot of capital investors, the investment companies. So if you come here, you can see Menlo Park and Palo Alto. It's full of capital investors, capital ventures, the venture capitalists, they call. They fuel the money and take the innovative ideas. People coming from all over the world. So it's a melting pot, we come from all over the world. And this is one place, where the ideas boom, right? So that disruption happens, and then, we got different applications. So that is where the software, the innovation of this Netscape. And then from there, different applications grew up. And then the internet, the cloud came in. Another decision is everything moved into the cloud. And now we are all in the cloud. And so as you can see that, for everyone, every one of us has a virtual world now. So Jagit, you have a virtual world due to this pandemic thing, you are in the world, otherwise you wouldn't have survived. None of us wouldn't have survived. Now we can see that, the real world and the virtual world. We transport everything into the virtual world, and you work, and you are not affected still with this pandemic, right? So the cloud disruption happened. This cloud disruption, new applications and new, hardware, everything came together. Now we are going in a different disruptive mode. Now you see all are connected to the cloud, and then the cloud is going to be the big information god. So cloud is listening to you. Cloud is taking all the information from you, from the machines, from everything, it process and and give you the results. Now the cloud is becoming more and more intelligent. So that is where all the machine learning, artificial intelligence, everything coming in. And then at some point, now we are in a crossroad where, another disruption is happening where the biotechnology and the information science are merging together, right? So with all this background, it's a summary of all those things, I just wanted to tell you, we are all in a very exciting, disruptive technical edge. So we need to tap in. So that is where Mr. Joy Sebastian's, the great guy who has invented the Zoom tech. Similar to Zoom technology, he has invented his big, innovation on the video technology, right? So I read about him, actually, Jagit, our GM, he sent me some write-ups. I would like to tell you some background about Mr. Joy Sebastian. It is really amazing. He started to, first, he wanted to be an homeopathy doctor, right? And then he decided to move into the MCA in TKM College of Engineering. It's kind of same situation, like, there is not much seats, but you were in MCA for TKM. It's one of the best schools. In fact, I joined in Toronto Engineering College. I moved to TKM, actually. So, it was great. It's a great institution. And then after that, it seems that, Joy Sebastian worked as a teacher, which is a very good thing. You are imparting your knowledge. And then he worked in Avenir Computer Science, Computer Services. And then he started his company, his innovative company, in 2009 it's called TechGentia. And he had different offices, and right now he's in Cherthala Info Park. But you all know that, so he started with 4 to 5 employees, and now he has more than 65 employees. And then pandemic came in between. You see his vision. He has been thinking about this video conferencing technologies and all those things, and because of that, that technology which he invented, which helped the entire Indian population to be in the world, and do their activities and work as you do in the normal, in the real world, So thanks to Mr. Joy Sebastian and his team. And, it is amazing that, how that transformation, which is equivalent to the Zoom technology, which is in San Francisco, half an hour from here, they invented the Zoom technology, which is enabling the entire world, other than, I don't know, in India also people are using, but this is for the government, I guess, right now. But, you guys will be competing with these companies, which is really good. And that enabled the entire population, which is a very, it's an excellent achievement. I have to say that. And then with that, then he has been selected out of 2,000 companies. His company has been selected by the central government to use video technology in all their platforms. And which is another feather in the in the hat. So it is amazing, and congratulations for that. And so now, in addition to that, Joy Sebastian is a human being, a very simple and human being. From his background, and I can see that he's a philanthropist. He works in social communities. And he committed to his effort to uplifting the social, his surrounding community with IT technologies. And he has been creating so many IT platforms to help the community, which is real good. And that is what real human beings do, and keep it up. And so we are very fortunate and happy to have uh, Mr. Joy Sebastians to do this inauguration of our revamped website, which we have been working. Our team has been working. All our team members put a lot of effort. So especially Saumya and the directors and all the team members did day and night testing, and so now and we are having a inauguration by the great legend Joy Sebastian. I would like to welcome him to inaugurate that platform and that website in front of our great audience. Please, Joy Sebastian.
Thank you, Cesar, and thank you, Soumya and David. Let me do the inauguration and have a small speech, then we can have a Q&A. That will be better, isn't it?
Yes, it's great.
Is it the time? Any other talk or something before that, or just I need to go in?
No, it's your platform now.
Thank you. Let me first share my screen and just do the presentation. This presentation. Okay. Okay. Present my screen. Hope you can see my screen, everyone.
Yes.
Yes, I can see it. Yeah.
With all your permission, I'm inaugurating your new website. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks a lot. All right.
Okay, let me come back and stop presenting. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you for inviting me to this particular occasion, because it is not so normal that the private company is inviting some other guy to do something like this. So I didn't invite anyone that way. I'm just telling you this. Okay, you all knew now Aziz sir already told a lot of good things, and you you may be heard of me. I don't want to go into the details and tell it again, but I have something to say to you. I'm seeing a lot of young faces. That's why. Other than Aziz sir, the senior boss in the community, all others are very young. I knew you are very talented, and this is a community where I think I have something to say. So let me start with. I see a lot of things on your website, and I see some products also. There are. I'm seeing you are doing both of them, both streams, the service stream and the product stream, are extremely important. Something like in my own agency experience, how I could survive for the last 11. I didn't have any funding, and it is not like the Valley story. We in Cherthala, nobody come to us and tell us, if you want some fund, I will fund you. That's not the story for at least Kerala companies. There are something happening somewhere, but nothing that much on the funding side. So for a company like us, how I survived, it was all about a 10, 11-year story. And I would like to tell you one fact, that I am not a common startup founder like the others. You've seen a lot of startup founders how they came into the picture, how they started their venture, how they got funded, how they solved their startups, or what they did. That is not the story with me. I was an accidental entrepreneur. Why I am saying this is during the course of my life, it was happened as an accident. I don't want to go to the history and tell why, but I always tell everyone that I'm not a regular startup founder or I'm not a regular entrepreneur like others. So I was very afraid of being going into entrepreneurship because the major thing is I don't have money to spend. I didn't find anyone that is going to be help me. So it was in the first 2 3 years, it was my own effort. It was my own coding effort. You all are software engineers and all you know that. I was doing my coding by hand and selling it. That was the first years. And along with my co-founder, Mr. Tony Thomas was there. He was a childhood friend of mine. So we together done the coding of video conferencing at that point of time. It was also video conferencing we started with. And we tried our own experiments. We tried a lot of experiments in video conferencing at that point of time. And we're trying to selling the technology to those who want video conferencing service. We were not even thinking of a product in Techgentia. We were trying to sell our R&D capability. We were trying to sell our coding skills to people who want something on video conferencing. That was the start of the company because we were together in Avenir, the company we joined after our graduation or post graduation. The first company I joined, I'm very fortunate to start with a product company at that point of time in 2000. That was my fortune because how the product will look like, and it was miserable too because I came across with the funding problems. I came across with the salary issues in the company because of every product company will came across if they don't get the enough funding at enough time slots, then if they will be struggling every time, and that was the case with Avenir too. And we were together. My co-founder Tony Thomas and I was with Avenir together, and we came out and we started helping the Avenir co-founder, who was Mr. James Joss. He is in US. Actually, he's in New Jersey, and he was the one who funded us for the first time to develop or continue his plans on the development of video conferencing. And that was the start. Then we moved, and from two, right now, today we have 85 plus engineers. Most of them are R&D engineers. And now the story changed after the COVID and the India government's challenge. The whole scenario changed, and now funders are behind us. That's the story now. Earlier, what I'm trying to say earlier was there were nobody looking at, even my friends who knew I am working on video conferencing. They were not thinking that something will happen to Techgentia by video conferencing. We were doing something else. That was I started with the story that there are two streams in the company. One is the product stream, and second is the service stream. That is how we existed so far. The service stream is gaining some money. Every month we will get some kind of revenue out of the development we are doing for others. That is the service stream. And we were funding that product stream with the funds that coming out of the service. We have two different streams. That is how we existed. Now everyone is saying that we should separate that because the funders, the investors who are coming to us is telling me every day that you should separate that out because service should be another company, product should be another company. But till today, we were doing it in tandem and we were going it in parallel. and that is how our product survived so far, and that is how the company survived so far. So I'm a bit hesitant whether we need to separate it out or not. So that is a kind of things. What I'm trying to say to young engineers like you is be passionate about your job. First thing, I was also an engineer for 10 years. I done the coding by myself till 2013. Now I am not doing any development. I don't get any time to, but I'm interested in that. But now my guys don't allow me to do that. That's a problem because I would like to code. I would like to code Java, C++, but nobody uh, allow me to do that because they were always telling me that you shouldn't do that, you should focus on the business. But I am such a guy, I want to do coding and I would like to do something. That's why I told you, be passionate about it. Nowadays, what you see, as Asisar said, nowadays it is cloud based. But what is it about? If you look at AWS or Azure or whatever cloud platforms now available, how that platform became so elegant and so useful. Did you ever thought about it? If you look at Amazon, the story of Amazon cloud is a different one than Amazon.com. How it comes? They developed some tools to make their Amazon.com platform scalable and a usable one. Those tools are coming to AWS platform as another service to sell you. That is what happened. They made something that is a helper tool or utility tool that helped their development in Amazon.com, the website. That became AWS platform. You should believe that. Once Amazon.com is used by millions of users, they identified that others also need what they did for Amazon.com. They made scalable things, they made secure tools, they made Elasticsearch, they made transliteration tools on Amazon.com for Amazon.com actually. And once Amazon.com came into picture and it became very scalable, very secure platform, they thought that why don't we sell these tools we developed for Amazon.com? So now it is not about product. Now it is about tools that help to develop their products. If you look at Azure, if you look at Google Cloud, why that much managed services available on Google Cloud? They didn't develop it for Google Cloud platform. They didn't develop it for AWS platform actually. They developed it for their own use in Amazon.com or Google search engine or Gmail or Google Meet, whatever it is, what they are developing as products. They did some of the tools, and now you should think about how to make your development process easier by smart tools, developing smart tools. If you look at something that is being a lot of manual actions are happening, you should think about, if you say, for example, when we during the development process of a particular web application, you were doing some manual process or you were doing something that is not what you call giving positive impact to you on your career, then you will automatically try to develop it as a tool by scripting something. Then you are developing a product and you are developing a tool to develop that product. That tool itself can become a product for you. That is what happened in AWS platform. That is what happened in Google Cloud platform. That is what happened in Azure platform. If you look at any managed services, any kind of tools, any kind of applications you can leverage from AWS. If you look at Amazon's or Netflix's architecture, you just go through things like that. And if you look at Netflix's architecture, some of the open source components they made part of the tool, and now they are trying to sell it. That is what is happening now. The era is changing to a from product to tools to develop that product. Then that tools became your USP to sell your product, and your tools itself can be a revenue model. And I was wondering why this AWS was not there, or why cloud was not there. The technology was there, but they were not trying to sell it. Once their product got matured, then they identified that now they don't need these tools. Others can operate these tools. Then they started selling it. If you look at the EC2 instances on AWS, how EC2 instances came into picture? Because Amazon.com needed very scalable and easily spawned machines when and where required. Then they thought of something like EC2 instances. So they made some software over hardware infrastructure, and they made EC2 instances to spawn by a click, machine to be spawned by a click. That is being built for Amazon.com actually. Then they thought once Amazon.com is working fine, and they reached a potential that they could leverage all the capacity, then they thought, why don't we sell it to others who need the same thing? Because everyone needs scalability, everyone need that kind of easily clickable machine spawning and all. So they thought they should sell it. That is how the cloud platforms getting into picture. I'm using a lot of cloud platforms, so that's why I'm looking at AWS and Azure and GCP as a very good example, because we in India, even the vConsole platform is running in NIC's cloud platform, and we were struggling. It is just a data center. We don't have tools to. They will say it as a cloud, but it is just a data center. That is what I see. And when I look at AWS and others, there is a very good difference, because they made the different layer out of it when they developed things. That is what happened. So when you develop something, when you, even though small works, our CTO always tell our team members, I was inspired from him actually, you should do it smart rather than hard. You should do it smart rather than hard. When you do smart coding, when you do things smart, that's a different, it will add value to you. Uh, to you as personal and as an enterprise, your company will benefit out of it. Even though that smart part, finding out the smart way, may take some time, may take some effort. But if you find that smart way, then it is a different scenario. I knew the service projects are uh, coming to you with some strict timelines. Then you will be inclined to do whatever is possible in that timeline and deliver. That is our, maybe that may be our focus. But I knew that you may get some leisure time in between two projects or in between some time. If you get that time, do it for your personal what you call the smart ways, finding out smart ways, what you struggled in the last project, what you struggled in the development of the last product, or what you struggled with the last sprint. Then you should think about it and make it some way smart. That way we can leverage. The next sprint will be, you will get a what you call time to spend for your own personal stuff, your company's personal what you call benefits. The smart way will change the whole thing. So only my advice to you all is, as a young engineers, you should start thinking about doing things smart, and of course start thinking about developing tools for making your development process smart. That tools can even help you to grow and even help you to benefit. Even that tool itself can be a startup for you in the later stage, even though you are personally using it. I'm not saying you should exit from Exalture or something like that. If you have, if you have something in mind, I would always advise my team to do something of your own. If you have time, then we will help you out. The company will help you out to grow. That's the way I'm telling you. If you do something personally, it is not at all directly benefiting the company, but your smart ways to do things will in future anyway definitely benefit the company and of course us personally to you all. Thank you very much for listening to me. This is the only advice I have to give you right now, I think. Thank you very much.
So one thing, thanks a lot. It was very inspiring. One point, I wanted to make what Joy Sebastian has said. See, the encouraging each and every individual to do yourself, whatever the idea coming in, that is exactly what in Silicon Valley people did. So even if I'm working for a company, if I have an idea, and they will encourage even my managers or the team members, they encourage you to develop it and fruition it, and whatever you wanted to develop, their support in addition to the work you are doing. And at the end, if that becomes a product that is spun out along, you will be in charge of that and you will be benefited out of it. And either you can market that as part of the company, or the company will invest for you. So you can spun off as a company and the company will invest in that. So that is exactly what Joy Sebastian is saying. So one thing I forgot is, that is this. I mean, when I came here in 1989, 91, that is the situation, almost a little bit higher, is almost the same situation in India. But the India is in the other way, where where we are here. It was started from the hardware. That is why the manufacturing and everything, the Western world or the developed countries are getting an upper hand. If you look at it, Germany, Europe, or all the European countries, Britain, US, they all had the upper hand on the manufacturing because of the Industrial Revolution, and they had the manufacturing, upper hand from their automation. From there, all these things came, and then that hardware, grown into this electronics, the chips and everything, right? So they got the edge. We started from the software. So that is why, we don't have the infrastructure. What our prime minister or anybody who are thinking of building it, right, to have this infrastructure. But it's very difficult, We started the software, now we have to go back. That's why, China thought it in the other way. They came out with the infrastructure. They took out all. See, they didn't do their own. Joy Sebastian said, "Do it smart." I know when I came here for doing my higher studies, my master. See, our class of 25 students in the postgraduate, out of 25, 12 maybe 10 or 12 are from India, and another 12 from China. Maybe 1 or 2 guys from here, Caucasian or Americans, right? So, and when you see that, we inherently, we are lazy, right? Indians, but we are smart. We do think and we do it smart. Chinese, they work hard, I don't think, they do it in smart, as he said, but they work hard and hard and hard. And then they come out with the solution, right? The thing is that what Chinese did is they took out, during that time, to cut the cost for all the countries, they took that manufacturing to China, initially to Taiwan, and then into China. So if you look at BMPC and all those things, they did the kit assembly, component assembly, and then they started the board assembly. Then they started designing then they started into the chip. Now the biggest chip manufacturing company is TSMC, Taiwan manufacturing company. Every chip, Intel is now moving into TSMC. And everybody, all the chips are made in there. So China has their own chip manufacturing. So they got the edge. What we lost is on that hardware infrastructure and the manufacturing. we need to get it into there. We need to do that manufacturing edge. We need to get into the hardware. Software, we are the gurus. Everywhere, we can do anything in software. So we need to switch into that. So that is where, I see where, I have seen this entire, the growth from the Silicon Valley from there. And you have seen that, from your perspective in India, but we need to merge these two. We need to have that dynamic, with the economic engine, along with the products and the hardware and the software. Then that is where we are in a crossroad, and we need to create that disruption. Sorry, I took that time. For
I think, as
Yeah,
Jagmeet,
I think.
for me, you can ask questions if anything I want to
Yeah,
answer.
sure, sure. Yes, I mean, thank you. First of all, thank you for your inspiring speech. And I would like to share with others. It's been, I think, 8 or 10 years since I have known you. Like, I have started to see you from my engineering days. I mean, many of our teammates might not know that. So I have got an opportunity to personally see you, talk with you, and I mean, like, you are the same still, right? I mean, how I talked to you in 2013, and I still can call you over phone, talk to you, and you're still grounded. So, I mean, having such a person in front of me, grown as a national celebrity now, we cannot leave you without any Q&A session from our team, right? I mean, it's an opportunity for us to dig in deep, to know you as a leader, to know you as a person, to know the growth of Techensha, or even for us to know how a product is involved, how team get involved in a project like that, what is the kind of change that comes to a team when suddenly an unknown product becomes known in front of the whole world, right? That too, a proud moment for Indians, a proud moment for Keralites. So we are not going to leave that opportunity. So I invite off my team members one by one to ask all your questions to Joy sir. It's a great opportunity for us. I think we should not waste it. We should extract maximum out of him. I would say. Yeah, sure. Please start with your questions.
Okay, sir. Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Nice speech, sir. So,
Thank you.
okay. So, sir, I want to ask, about your this video conference solution.
Yeah.
So, before starting it, is there any plan? Did you keep any estimation? There should be at this timeline. How did you come to this? You want to go to is there any research kind of work? How have you done to get into this secure, faster, reliable solution?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. That was actually the research and everything that was happening for 10 years. And we were doing in and out of video conferencing for 10 years. So the technology is known to us, and how the development happening in and around. Actually, we were before Zoom. We had a product before Zoom, and know how the technology is happening around, and how the product development and what others are doing. We were new because in this domain there were some open source communities which were doing the same thing, and they were, even though others are not known to video conferencing before COVID. There were some kind of like 2-3 legacy protocols were there video conferencing. That is, one is called H323, and that you heard about the numbers and all. So I don't want to go into the details. One other protocol which is this H.323 is a binary protocol actually, and it was the legacy one, and it is very difficult to understand in the coding if we look at the coding terms. But there was another protocol which was SIP, Session Initiation Protocol, and these two protocols were there before 2000 actually. That was kind of telecom protocols. And there were attempts to develop video-based phones earlier too, based on this 8.323 and the SIP. What we were trying to do was, this technology were ruled by, as Aziza said, they were ruled by hardware-based devices actually. And what we were thinking about in 2009 was, when we started, if we can replace that hardware-based technology to a software-based component, then there is a scope. That's the kind of things we were thinking about in the early stages, and we succeeded in 2014.
Okay.
We think about 5 years. So it took 5 years to achieve that particular goal, because and that time you are familiar with the technology segment. So this hardware components, what I was talking about in 2009, they were perfectly designed chips for encoding, decoding video and audio. Okay. So we want to change that encoding video chips to software-based components. That is what our aim was. And there were hindering problems like the hardware, the processors, the memory. All those components were not up to the mark in 2009 to do that. The machines we are getting in the market. So we were trying to develop things. We were trying to because that ecosystem, that term is very important. That ecosystem was not there in 2009, but by 2014 we were able to do something, because the hardware also getting more and more sophisticated with more clock speed, more processing power, more memory. So this kind of multiple video processing, if you see 18 participants are here, our technology is thinking about mixing this 18 participants video together on a server and sending it back as a single stream. That was our technology in mind. So this is different from Google Meet. What is happening in Google Meet right now? Google Meet is sending out individual video streams. That is why sometimes you are not seeing someone's video. That's just an icon.
Yes.
So this technology is individual streams coming out of Google server right now. And if somebody have video sending problems, or we have video receiving issue, data receiving issue, then they will start showing that that name's first letter.
Yes.
So it's not only because you are muting the video, it is because of the bandwidth also, you are not getting the videos from. So to address that issue for the bandwidth issues in India, it is the better technology to have a single video stream. And now we have 18 video streams coming to me. You are also getting 18 video streams. If you look at it, I am seeing 4, 6, 7. 7 people right now in front of me. And those 7 streams are coming out of the server right now. But what we were doing it was, we are stitching these videos together on a server, and then distributing that as a single video stream. So if you are in one particular one-to-one meeting or 1 to 50 meeting with all of them coming with videos, you will end up in single data stream out of the server. So that means you will save a lot on the client side. That has a disadvantage on the server side, because this stitching process itself is a heavily process intensive thing. So that is why this technology is a bit different from Google's and Zoom. That's the difference. And this R&D, and we were talking about the timelines and all, R&D was happening, and we are dedicating a team for R&D. 10, 12 members are doing that. They were not being used in anywhere, and they don't have a timeline. You got it?
Okay.
They don't have a timeline because a lot of research happening inside. So they even though they will develop some narrow escapes, like if you have some kind of, say for example, today I am using for HD video, I am using, say for example, 1.5 megabyte of data on the client side, and say for example 3% of the CPU on the server side. They will be improving in 1 year, like they will change it to 2.9% of the CPU from 3%. Then they will improve it from 1.5 megabytes of data on the client side to maybe 1.4 megabytes. So that is the improvement for us. That is how things are happening. So they don't have a timeline. But this was a strict timeline project. Actually, the India Innovation Challenge. It was a 5-month project. Actually, we used our old engines and improved it and made a UI out of it. That is what happened during the challenge. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. It was really nice to talk to you and learn from so much from this. Thank you, sir.
Hi, sir. Actually, thank you for the wonderful speech. And also, I wanted to know what is the reason, or is there an inspiration for selecting this topic like video conferencing? And also, what are the major risks that you have faced during the development?
Definitely, Vidya. It was, as I told you, I joined a company in 2000 from my college as a product development company, and they were developing an audio conferencing. I don't know if you believe it or not. That time, it was only dial-up connections available in India in 2000. And then they were trying to develop a product which is over voice over IP and which can connect multiple audio streams over the internet. And Caesar, when I was just wondering, when Caesar saying Netscape was his neighbor, Netscape owner was his neighbor, because I started my career with Netscape. Actually, Netscape, because Netscape was the only browser then. And yeah, then we were trying to develop a component that can do a audio conferencing system on Netscape. Actually, we want a internet-based component, and it should be like our first aim in the first company was to develop a product which can run over a browser. That was our first aim, which run on a browser to do a video audio conferencing. Actually, so if you look at the history of web browsers, Internet Explorer and those are coming in place. Netscape Navigator was the first one, and Netscape Navigator was equipped with the Sun's Java applet. We can use Java applet inside Netscape Navigator to do the hardware access. Browser was a very, very, very strong sandbox when they started delivering it. They cannot access microphone, they cannot access a hard disk, they cannot access anything on the machine, our local machine, when Netscape and all are started. Now you are using on Google Chrome, you can use microphone, camera, hard disk, anything you can access. In the start of the browser, it was designed to be a sandbox which doesn't touch anything on your local machine. You got it?
Yes.
So we were trying to develop something that should access the microphone, that should access the hard disk. So it was very struggling moment when I started with Avenir, and I actually progressed along with the history of browser, and I seen the things happening slowly changing. And by start of Internet Explorer, they actually were what you call enemy like kind of approach to Sun actually when Internet Explorer was started, and they developed something in parallel called ActiveX then to support that, and then ActiveX was able to do something on the your local machine like the applet, and on Windows applets cannot access audio and video. Then we have to do something called the JNI. I don't know whether you heard about it, Java Native Interface, to access the Windows DLLs, Win32 DLLs. Then that DLL should access microphone and camera and all. That was a kind of coupling and very, very struggling period I went through till 2009. I was as an employee, I was working with this technology in different companies actually. So I thought I should start a company in video conferencing itself. That was and by then I knew what is web browser and how web browser can be leveraged to use this. Then you remember that even Microsoft couldn't do something like this before 2009. They were using an application. You heard about net meeting also. I don't know whether you heard about it. There was a tool in Microsoft technology called net meeting, and it is coming as an application along with the Microsoft Windows. And that net meeting was accessing video and audio and using that they were communicating through internet. And they even could not do a perfect application or perfect web application that run on a browser to do the communication properly, video and audio communication. Till 2015, it was not possible at all. By the invention or by the introduction of WebRTC with the browsers, then only this was happened. And you remember that what Google did on WebRTC, we were trying to do the same thing in Netscape and Internet Explorer using the possible options. In 2000, Google came with something similar in 2015. Then the technology was different and everything changed. And I remember the Google Meet, which Google Meet, it is not Google Meet, it was called, there was a Google audio chat when along with the Gmail, you remember or not, I think it was in 2013, 14, there was something. And that was the time they were also doing the same. They were downloading a DLL to Windows and installing it and using that from web browser. That is what the WebRTC's history was. And we were trying to do the same. If I look at WebRTC's history and our technology, we were doing the same from 2000 actually. But we couldn't leverage that capability. Otherwise, we should be the Google.
Now they say it as a Google phone.
Google phone, yeah, Google phone, yeah. So the technology and the development, I started along with my career itself, and that's how I came across video conferencing. And when I started my company, I thought I should what I should be starting will be I should be strong on that. So I thought this should be my proposition, and that succeeded. That's why.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Jyoti.
Congrats for the success and thank you for the speech. So my question is, how did you took a service and product work both in a smart way?
Okay. Actually, we are keeping two different streams actually, and the service team is not touching the product stream. They were actually keeping as two different streams. And even the project managers are different. The product development team will be kept intact. That is how we are succeeding, I think. Otherwise, in other companies, if we get a service project worth, say for example, $500,000, then we may have an inclination to use our best engineers into that to deliver that. I'm not using that. I'm not saying my engineers are not bad or that in the different streams. They are very good in both the streams, but the teams are different and the teams are keeping them intact. That is because they have the focus. The product development team have the focus and they are not touching anything else. Even the company's other stuff like co-curricular or company's internal activities, they will be keeping intact. They will not be touched. So that's because they like the way the things are happening, so they enjoying the product development, and we pick people from this freshers from the college, and we start nurturing them from the start. And we, as Jagid told me, everyone came to my office. They are all sticking on to us still now. One or two just left after joining the company. So they are getting the opportunity. In the start, they will came across the internship of like what technologies we are using, and we will assess their case whether they are suitable for product development. If whether they have a research and development orientation, then we will put them into that kind of activities. Then we do not touch them, and they will grow with the product. And some of them, if they want, they will tell me or they will tell the team, I don't want to continue in product. Then we will take him to. So this is a kind of environment I am keeping right now. As I told you, where a lot of investors want this service to be separated out of product, but I didn't thought about it because I'm seeing a lot of advantages in keeping them together, because a lot of innovations that is happening in the product, some of them we are using in our services also. So what they are leveraging is, I have a company who is using video conferencing. We took it as a service too, developing video conferencing as a service too, same product, and they were getting a lot of benefits from our new product. So they were wondering where these features were earlier, because they don't even knew that these features can be used in their technology. So we developed some technology features that is very useful. Something like, we can also have a very good feature called YouTube link sharing. You may not be seen it in Zoom or but if you ever try to share a video in a meeting, say for example screen sharing, if you take screen sharing as an example, if you are trying to share a video inside a meeting, then what will happen? It will end up with 3-4 frames. You can see the flickering while you share the screen. So we thought it is not the best way to do video sharing. So we did something else called we will put the video into a drive and we will share the drive URL, or you can put the video into YouTube and you can share the YouTube URL. Then YouTube will play it beautifully fine in front of all the participants. So when I saw that, shown that feature to my the video conferencing service getting company, they were wondered where this feature was earlier. So they asked me how much I need to pay for this feature to be come on their platform. So that's a kind of mutual benefits happening. So service getting companies, even video conferencing or other services, they are happy with our product development. They are supporting us, and they were even eventually trying to make us a funder, come as a funder for our R&D and our own product. So that's the way things are happening. So I'm very happy with the way now service and product is happening in our company.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so I have a question, sir. So basically, I know that it has not been an easy ride for you since the inception of the company, right? I mean, you had talked about it in public that you had faced the financial crunch in between. But I know that almost like your attrition rate is very low. Almost 98% of your core team has been with you. So the company has benefited from the individuals and vice versa as well, right? So how do you see that, like the support from your team? I mean, even now in an era where tech people don't stay within a company more than 1 or 2 years, like, so in such an era, still you have the core team. I mean, that too 98% of your core team with you. That's a great statistic to be honest, right? So how do you see that, and how do you maintain that? I want the point of view from two sides, from your side as well and from the team side as well.
Yeah, it is not only because of the money only. There is decent salary, but there was a time I couldn't pay the salary. So if you look at the history of the company, 2013, I was very much struggling to give them something uh, to as every month kind of as an employee or something like that. You can understand how much difficult it will be if you are not getting the regular salary. Then also they stick on to me, and they were the one telling me that we are not shopping here. I was ready to resign, and I was ready to dissolve the company then, and I couldn't find anything that is positive after 2013. But still, then they stick on to me and they told me we will be with you and we are going to continue the development. What we did. One thing is the product development team was able to find a future than me in the technology. That is one thing. And I would say, yeah, I was thinking about just leave everything and go to find a job and somewhere in some company, because I was also struggling, and I would like to join as some kind of project manager or something like that in any of the company like US Technology or someone around in Kochi. So it was, but then the team, when I announced this to the team, they told me that we are not going anywhere. We will continue what we are doing, and we are seeing a lot of future in this technology because nobody else is doing it, and that is one thing. Second, if you look at as a leader, I was failing my team. I was not leading in front. That is one thing. If you look at me as a leader, but then, as I told you, it is not only because of the salary payments and the money they are getting from the company, they are seeking on to me, or they are seeking on to Techgentia. The things, one is they are passionate about the technology. That is one thing. And company, as a company, we are giving them opportunities. And it is not only because just giving us some what you call the timelines, this is the way you should look at the technology, this is the way you should grow, and this should be, there are guidelines, but that is not strict. They can think about what is appropriate and what will be good in the future. So they are all contributing in such a way that they feel that even though I didn't given any assurance as a writing, they got a feeling that this is their company too, because they have their say, and as a leadership team, the team is accepting their opinion if it is good for the company, and if it is good for the technology, if it is good for the future technology we are developing. So that is one thing. They have their very democratic rights to say whatever they want, and that is the way. And they have, as someone asked me, how are the timelines being met? I'm saying on the service side, you are right. We have strict timelines. It is based on the requirements from the client. That is true. But on the product side, what I'm saying is, as I told you, 1 or 2 years we will be improving 1% or so on the product. So if it looks in that way, in a what you call with Excel sheets, like how much we spend, how much got the improvement. If you put a chart or something like that, if some what you call if some consultant come in and look at the benefits happened against the funds we used, then maybe they will say this is not a success. But once we did this after 10 years, if in between some consultant came in and look at my company and evaluate my financials against the product quality and products we developed, then they may be saying that it is not a success. But after 10 years, after this challenge happened and after the product being launched, they were all saying that this is the way you should do this. This is the way this thing should happen. So I think because of my mindset also, I'm treating my team as family members, and they knew Everyone can come to me and ask whatever they want. They can complain. Nobody in between. They will look at me as a company leader, and they don't have any hesitance to ask me whatever they want. If they came across with any problem, in say for example, they can come to me. So if a leader tell them something, എന്താ പറയാ, വഴക്ക് പറയാ, അങ്ങനെ സംഭവിച്ചാൽ പോലും they can come to me and tell what happened, and I will be in between them. I will manage that. So I don't know whether it is possible after 100 plus engineers are coming in, but still now I am keeping them as my brothers and sisters and as a family members. That is how things happened, and it came across nicely. And we are making a company that is owned by all the employees right now. That is one important thing. And it is not me only, the owner of the company. Now everyone, we have a very good plan right now in front of the team. If they complete each year, they will get some ESOP out of it in the company and some good benefits out of the company. Now, if you look at the directors of the company, they started with me or after me, and they started as freshers inside the company. Now they are completing 10 years. Those all are the directors of the company right now, along with me. That means they are owning the company. Even newcomers coming to my company, Techgentia, they will get a benefit if they continue like 3-4 years with the company. And that is how now what happened beautifully good was the seniors took over the charge from me right now, and they are behaving the same thing as I did to them. Getting involved in problems, getting involved in solving puzzles, solving problems inside the company. The 7 or 8 seniors, they took over my position to manage things now. They are also dealing the things like what I did and what I inculcated in them. So that's a beauty I am seeing in my company. That's how things are happening. So Jagit, you are right. My team, as you know, your friends are with me. They are all having some kind of independence, some kind of freedom, and they actually, even though what backgrounds they are coming from, they are actually inculcated the culture I try to build in the company, and they are behaving like that. That's a beauty right now, and I am seeing that happening in front of me. So I think even though we are 1,000 going forward, that is going to be the model we are. This is a best practice I seen, and it is like timing wise, that culture that is helping me a lot, because if I try to impose something like you have to be in the office 9 to 6, then this is not going to happen. 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. you should have be in the company and you should do this things. We didn't impose anything like that. They can work anytime. They can work any point of time, and that kind of flexibility is there. They can do whatever they want, even though it is so that is giving us a lot of very good results. I think as Aziz sir knew it because he is from Silicon Valley. They are doing the same thing in many of the companies there. So yes, in India, I don't know. Nobody else is practicing like this, because as Aziz sir pointed rightly, we are a bit of alasamarana. നമ്മളെ ഇങ്ങനെ ടൈംലൈനകത്ത് പിടിച്ചിട്ടാണ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുള്ളൂ. That kind of a problem is there. But once we actually think that we are professionals and we have to do this, we have to, that kind of professional thinking thought process, അത് പിള്ളേരിലേക്ക് എത്തിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ this will automatically change, and they will do whatever they are supposed to do, and they will that's a problem now. As the employee number is increasing, there are more problems happening, there are things happening like this, and we are trying to do the same thing what we were when we were 2 when we 5, when we were 10, we were trying to build that kind of dynamics inside the team. That is what the success behind, I think. This is going to benefit everyone in the team.
Yes, a follow-up question. I would like to know one more thing. Like, I know that when you had started, had been to your early offices as well. So it was just a single one or two rooms, and there were like maximum 10 to 15 guys over there. But now you are actually trying to move to Kochi because the place there is not enough. So you're actually trying to expand yourself. So the growth you have seen from like one or two people who started the company to around like 5 people. So there is a kind of bottleneck, right? Like for example, if you have 10 or 15 or 10, 20 people in your team, you have direct access over to them. You can actually directly communicate. So how do you actually like cope up with the scalability of having the team grown up to almost like 65, I mean 85, and it's still growing. So how, I mean, in terms of your work culture, in terms of your work ethics, and in terms of the knowledge to be imparted to each and every one of the employees, how do you actually cope up with that scalability issue?
Yeah, that's why I told you. I have now 7 directly reporting to me right now. 7 of them. It is not because of their positions in the company. They are they were with me for 10 years right now. So they are directly reporting to me, and they are the one who is doing the role what I am doing maybe 5 years before. The scalability is happening in the what you call the behavior, the culture. I built into those 7 right now, and they started behaving like me myself. I can see them. I just go to their meetings and see what is happening inside sometimes, and they started talking like me in the meetings, and they started working like me. They started what you call solving the juniors problems like me. So I think that is not possible because it will start what you call start diminishing in translation, because they cannot the juniors or now sub juniors cannot translate it as me anyway. That is going to happen. That is true. As a company grows, there will be processes, there will be people, there will be other things happening inside. Then this culture, I think that is not scalable at all. But some point, some values we pushed into the company, that is there, and that we are trying to translate it to the juniors. That is happening right now. And on the second and third things, the knowledge sharing and all, what we are doing right now is a good thing to happen to any company. I think we are providing an paid internship for the freshers or final year project guys. Okay, so they will come to the company, and paid internship means we are paying them. It is not they are paying us. The company will pay them. It is a small amount. Say for example, 7,500 rupees a month to survive what you call their local conveyance, their food, everything. And they will be doing their final year project in one of the future technology we are planning. Okay, they have, after 6 months of their final year project, they have the right to leave us, and we have the right to get them on board. Both ways, they can leave us. We also can tell them you don't need to continue. They also have the right. I have to join another company. There are all the rights, but most of them that coming to the company like this are joining Techgentia right now, and that happened for last 4 years. And those guys now making a rich R&D future for the company right now. That's a very good way to get people in. And if we take experienced guys, it is very difficult to So it is very difficult to make them usable to the company. It is not, I am not saying that we are not taking experienced guys, we are taking experienced guys, but the best guys I am seeing that is coming from the college itself as interns. In the 6 months period, they will do some project that they need to give it as their curricular thing, but once they finish the project, they will be able to do something that is helpful in our R&D or in any of the service project. So that way, this knowledge imparting is happening automatically before they actually joined as an employee in the company. So that is the way things are happening. That is very good, and we are doing something else too. In the Aziz sir said, I am involved in some of the social activities. So in the social activities, I am trying to make digital transformation in some way. Say for example, I have a palliative care society in my door, in my village, and I am a part of it, and I am trying to solve their problems, the palliative care patients' problems, with this possible technology solutions or futuristic technology solutions. We are planning a product on that too right now. Because of my experiments, I found there is a product opportunities there in the palliative care domain. So once this, how I do the experiments is, I will tell the engineers surround or engineering graduates around in my area to gather together, and I will explain to them, this is a technology, if you want to develop, there is a possibility, we will support, we will mentor from TechGenship. And what is happening is, say for example, in a panchayat, I will support the panchayat to develop some technology that is suitable for them. And a lot of people, a lot of students who doesn't get any job after their graduation or something like that, they will gather together, and I will mentor them with the support of my team. And one of these groups started a startup actually last year, and they were able to grab together 5 members together, done a plastic what you call plastic collection app for using mobile technology and Android, and they started a service, cloud-based service for any panchayat or any municipality who can use it, the mobile app, their mobile app to locate the plastic, locate the what you call the units who is collecting it, those kind of thing. And they were getting a kind of service fees from each domestic, say for example 5 rupees per month or something like that, but the startup is growing right now. So that kind of then why I told you this is, those students who, or those young guys who have talent in villages, who doesn't got an opportunity to go to a metro city and get a job, but they have talent, and they were coming in front of me with some way or the other. And if I would like to get them involved in our technology development, I will tell, after the development of this particular social project, I will tell them, come to me and join us. They are very happy to join. I would say they are, some of these guys coming out of these villages are some of the best engineers I ever seen. They didn't get a chance to work in any company, but they have the talent. And I would say I tried PhD scholars in one of my project last month to develop an EKYC. EKYC, you heard about it? Video based know your customer. And that video based know your customer is like an AI based the video engine that will help banks and others to grab the know your customer particular thing. And a guy came in front of video, and he will say something, and AI engine will identify whether this is a real person or not, and this person matches with his own ID card he uploaded. That is what KYC. And why I am saying this is, I tried with one of the PhD scholar who is working in AML for last, say for 8 or 9 years, and she did her PhD in AML. I tried 6 months with her, and I tried one of the plus two guy I found out from my village, who is a very good programmer. He didn't pass even plus two. You remember that? And I knew he has talent, and he was with me for 5-6 years. And I told him, along with that PhD scholar, you start with her. And finally, he was the guy delivered it, the product. You should remember that. That's a kind of people who is. I don't believe in BTech, or I don't believe in MTech, or I don't believe in PhD. You have. I believe the guys, the girls who do coding, who do things. That is the guys. If Jagid, look at Jagid's friends in the company, they didn't even pass their BTech yet. You know them personally. So they were with Jagid in 2013, and they still have papers to complete. Still, but they were heading some of the major domains, major technology streams we have in the company. So that's the way things are happening. So it's altogether a different story. I have to tell you, because I am finding a lot of resources, but it is not because of their problem. They are not getting jobs. The companies who want actual resources. If Exalture, I don't know, Exalture have some norms or something like that. I would like to advise one more thing to you. If you find some good resources who doesn't have the proper qualification, you don't leave them, because the addition of that strength, they will not leave you anyway. First of all, they have qualification problems. That is one thing. And once you given an opportunity and you given a possibility to show up their talent, I think 6-7 members in the team who doesn't have a professional qualification, who is doing wonderful coding. Out of the 80, 6, I think 7 of them. Whatever I want to, when I think about something in my mind, when I tell them this is, I do want to see this happen in a code, and I will tell them, try it out. You just come with your solution. And I will tell you another story too. We got a project in, it was $1 million project. Now we are starting, and it was from Indonesia. They want something to find out an artificial intelligence based app to find out the dents of cars, the breakage dents happening on car, using a mobile app. And that is for an insurance company. And this guy, I told you, this AML guy, I told him to develop a prototype for that, to get that project into Exalture. He did it in a quick 2 days. The prototype came out. And that was the prototype I presented. This was before the award was announced. And we were also like something like Exalture right now, or what other companies like mid small size companies, what we are, we need to plead in front of the client to get the project in. You should give us, we will prove. That is the way. So I shown this prototype to them. They believed Exalture can deliver it. They believed, because it was a quick prototype, and that is how things are happening. So these kind of guys who have the village kind of talent, who couldn't, they may not be suited well, they may not be getting well in front of the interview board, they may not be able to deliver good English, they may not be able to, they will not be, their look and feel will be like, very, very loose. but they can deliver. Those guys are the strength of the company, and that is how. And these all come together. That is making that relationship, Jagil. So
Yeah, thank you for your answer. I mean, you also have a similar work culture over here. Like our core team has been the same since our inception, and you also don't be. Degree can be a kind of attribute, but it's not the ultimate attribute. The one who can go and convince his code before us is the one who gets selected over here.
very good.
So,
Very
yeah.
good. That culture will very good improve. And actually, I am seeing that is one of the pillars of the company in TechGensia. I couldn't give their resume to some other company to get a project, but I can use their prototypes to get a project into the company. I couldn't tell them this guy has PhD in computer science and you should give this project. The one way of doing it is like that, Asis sir knew it, and the other way we can prove with prototypes. This way, that prototype development can happen with that guys. So that is the way things are happening. So that's a very good point. You all should believe that Google and Microsoft doesn't have this much kind of, because that is the culture of service-oriented companies who do want to project this much talents or this much good resumes we have. So you should give us. Infosys, TCS may need that 80% of the mark should be there and in BTech, and you should have a PhD guy in the project. That is true, but I think a company like TechGensia doesn't need that much kind of resumes for that. And I am trying to prove to the people that you should give us an opportunity to do a prototype. That prototyping will be free for you. And if you believe in that prototype, if you think your product will come like this, then that's a case. It is coming up good for us. It is very good for us coming up.
Okay, thanks for your answer.
So one question is, so you guys use a lot of Codex standards and everything, I believe. But yeah, in addition to that, you are developing your own, as you said, there are technology of your own. How do you protect that IP?
Now, earlier it was not like that. We were not thinking about IP protection and all those stuff. Now we started filing the intellectual property rights and all. Now started. Last September, I filed 3 patents, and it is still in processing. And we started protecting our brand names also now, and that is happening right now. And we are continuously doing that with the help of a third-party lawyer.
Legal.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's good. You should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's amazing. You guys developed all this. I mean, there is Codex standards. For all these things people uses. All these compression and decompression engines.
But there are some changes. Each company doing this technology, and we have some edge over something, and that edge we are trying to protect. That is it.
Very good. You should.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, Anupam, Aparna.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. How are your teammates supporting you when you are facing a challenging situation?
That is what I told you. They were like family members. It is like my wife supporting me. The team members also coming to me saying that even though you are not paying me, even though you are paying us for 3-4 months, we should continue. That is the way. And now I am in a position to give them back. So at that point of time, they were not thinking that this company will grow and company will be in a position to support them back. But they believed in the technology. They believed in the culture we are developing, and that is how they actually one day I still remember that day. It was 2013 June 21st or something like that. I was I couldn't find them salary for the last month, May, and by June 21st, I was thinking about just dissolve it. Why should I keep them here? Because they were good engineers and they will get a good opportunity outside because they are very good. I knew that in Kochi itself they will get good opportunities. I thought I should dissolve the company and come out, and I also should find a job. My friends are in different project manager roles and all, and VP roles then. So I thought I could get a very good job in some company with a very good salary package. So I thought I should stop this. And I called a meeting inside the company. Then there were 25, 26 people inside the company. So I told them, I'm going to dissolve this. You can find out your way because I couldn't give you salary for the next month. I am not seeing any positive stuff happening. Last month we couldn't pay. Whenever I get the money, I will pay you back, and you just go away. That was my uh, point then. Then they, one guy who was just to marry, then he was just to marry, and his fiancee family was searching for companies, kind of what kind of company it is and how much he is getting, and he is telling them that he is a senior software engineer in the company. So he actually come to me with tears telling me that, sir, we are not going to dissolve it right now. It is not because of my marriage. I will be struggling then because marriage is a kind of thing. You need a lot of money. So he told me he will be continuing, even though you are not going to pay us 5 6 months from now. We will find out a client for this technology. We will find out somehow we will make it happen. You don't need to worry about it. We also will search for it. We also find out. So they are taking up the leadership role than me, telling me that we should continue. That is how struggles we make it happen. So this is any small company like us have this kind of history, but we don't even understand. Once we are in the limelight, only people will start asking. In 2013 June, if I go to somebody to get some money with the technology, they will not believe me because they will see it as a sinking ship and they will not believe in me. Now, when I tell this story to them, they were wondering, why don't you approach us? I know the fact. So, some of my friends also helped me to survive through. They put in money. That can happen. That any company have that history. Without, if I don't know, if you know my family history, I am coming from a fisherman family, and it is a kind of. I am also surviving with the salary I am getting from Tech Junction, not because of anything else. And if I also not getting a salary in 1 month, I will also go into deep trouble. I have the bills to settle every month. So even though I am running the company, if the revenue is not coming into the company, I am the last one to take the salary. So I will be the most affected person. So I thought I should find a good company to survive with my family. So that's the history. So now everything is gone away. Now everyone knew us. If I ask for some $5 million now to somebody, they will just put in now right now. I need that. So that's the kind of history happened.
Thank you, sir. And we are expecting we consult in public soon.
Yeah, you can use it right now. I think I can give you an account, Jagit, so that your meetings can happen on WeConsole going forward. So
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir.
Can give us feedback.
Yeah, thank you. That's great.
That will be a good. I will give you an account right now, and you just send me an email. so that I will give you the account. You can use it, try it out, how it looks for you as young engineers, how you feel it. So the best thing happened is we are getting a very good feedback from the customers using it right now. And yesterday I posted one LinkedIn post which was a statistics. Last 90 days, 12,000 meetings happened on that platform. It is not big as if we compare things, but as a new platform, it is very big. And 200,000 plus users joined in different meetings altogether. So every day, if you look at, I will show you the statistics. If you look at the, I will share the screen. I will share the screen with you so that you are technical people. So I would like to share it with you. You can see my screen right now, is it?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Now you can see last 7 days it was 649 meetings happened, and yesterday you can see this 1,458 active people was there, and we have another set of users called passive. There were 1,100. They are listeners, and now you can see the meetings happening right now. It is around right now. It is around 15 meetings happening on the platform at present. Okay, so this is a major dashboard, and this is for the government of India, isn't it? You can see this. It is Bharat,
Yeah.
and this is where government of India's meetings are happening now. 15 government sector meetings are happening on the platform right now. Even though I show you, I couldn't get into that meeting. So they were very secure. It is overview of the dashboard I can see, and the platform is like you. I think I will share you one account so that you can go through it. That is.
Thank you, sir. That's a great gesture.
Yeah.
So you guys are right outside India too, right?
Actually, we are looking at outside India opportunities, where especially US, Canada, Singapore. We have talked to some of the people, and one option we have is white labeling. Anybody can white label the solution and use it as their own platform and sell it.
Oh, okay.
That is
Okay.
because we don't want to. We have a technology team. Other than that, we don't have customer support, sales support. That kind of team is not there. So we thought it will be better if somebody else carry us and do the sales, service, those kind of stuff, and share the royalty. That is what I am aiming right now, because we couldn't directly compete with Zoom and Google Meet right now, because Google Meet, even though Google Meet and Zoom is there, I am feeling they are not the actual rivals for us. Teams will be the competition for us. What we are seeing right now, Microsoft will be the huge competition for every platform, because their progress, as I seen from the COVID chart, they progress very much than any other platform in this industry right now. Microsoft. So I think this domain will be ruled by Microsoft in 3-4 months time.
Oh, wow.
So I don't want to compete with Microsoft like a giant and Google and all. So I thought we are focusing now right now on on-premises solutions and white labeled solutions. On premises, we are getting a lot of inquiries right now, because people are very much scared about the data privacy, and everyone wants some technology if it is viable in their premise to run their video conferencing. That is what Bharat VC is all about right now. Government of India wants this on their cloud, and they are running their show. I do have a admin access, that is right. Other than that, I don't have any access to that system platform.
Oh.
So like this, I think Saudi Arabia also in talk with us for their government activities to run on this kind of a platform. Of course, Qatar is requesting. That's a government kind of inquiries are coming in, like what India did here.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. And you can also build applications on this.
Yeah,
and you get product on that. Right?
That is happening, as sir. One important customer we have is High Court of Kerala right now. They were struggling with Google Meet and Zoom to accommodate multiple judges and multiple courts all together, and these advocates need to run around meetings to appear in different courts, and they need, if they have five cases every day and they need to appear before 5 different courts, then they have to keep their meetings live on 5 different devices right now,
right,
to be there when the case is called. Okay, so they asked us to develop something that is make their workflow over vConsole. Now we did it and demonstrated before the judges of High Court of Kerala. They were very impressed, and we are now they are selling this right now to other high courts. That is happening. Okay. So 5 high courts are approaching us right now for the same solution. And from next week, I think High Court of Kerala will be completely moving to vConsole platform.
Oh, wow. Very good. Excellent.
That is happening. Kerala police wanted something called a WhatsApp kind of solution with multi video conference. Their messaging system, the whole messaging system, they want to be developed as their own. And they approached us to develop WhatsApp kind of solution. And we are doing it right now with the multi-party video conferencing enabled. And this WhatsApp kind of solution will be, their hierarchy will be built into that. Their police hierarchy will be built into that. And that will be their WhatsApp groups. And they can just click on one tab. They can be in multi-party conferencing for the underlying hierarchy. Say, for example, DGP can call his reporting guys in a single click, multi-party video conference. That kind of solutions are also coming with, and we are not projecting it as a sole video conferencing solution. We are projecting it as a platform. Anyone can develop any kind of solution about it.
So it's like an open source where, somebody can, if Exalture want to develop an application top of it, they can do that.
Already some companies developed some products out of it. Lakshya, some company in Kerala, which is running CA coaching, the chartered accounting coaching, and they developed a product out of it right now for their coaching thing to be online, and they were using vConsole platform underlying.
Oh, very good.
So anyone can develop. We are API driven right now, so any product can be spawned out of it. And you can think of a workflow that is suitable with video conferencing, then think about us. There is no problem.
I can see bulb blinking from some of these guys. Good that you're putting some seeds.
Yeah, that is a lot of guys are coming up with some of the one company. You heard about Sutherland. Yeah, they were trying to develop a product for police, Kerala police actually, and it is a kind of virtual station. Okay, and anyone can come online and select a police station and go on a video meeting to lodge their complaints in the police, and that will be automatically recorded, and that will be recorded and stored, and with metadata that is required for a police requirement, and that will be used. That kind of solutions are, a lot of people are thinking about multiple solutions based out of it.
So if the Kerala police use all the virtual police station, no more Drishyam.
No more.
No more Drishyam, right?
And actually, this Sutherland is doing it as a, I think, CSR project for Kerala police, and they approached us for the function. And there are a lot of use cases coming out. You can all think about it. And also, I would like to share one stream. You should keep on focus on a product or some product. That is very important. the string shouldn't be touched, and a lot of products can come out. I think the products and tools have the capacity to grow. So that is one important thing I am always thinking about, and I always tell people to do some kind of product kind of thing and go go and move
Yeah,
forward.
in future, we should all, get together and do something,
Yeah,
That's good.
definitely.
Yeah, it always, the technology should grow, I mean, that is where the innovation comes, I mean, the young generations are pretty smart.
Yeah,
Yeah, they need to be encouraged and, give them more, motivation.
and of course, the model you were talking about, empowering, encouraging guys to develop their own thing
Yeah.
and make it as a part of the company or even investing. Say, for example, one or two resources working inside the company who have a innovative idea. If you or go to some extent, you can invest them as their resources can be invested onto that project.
So that is how I started my first. See, before this, I started two companies here in USA. Both are the hardware, developing IPs. While I was working for a startup, and this was I was the member of 802.11.
Oh, okay.
IT 802.11 committee. So we were developing 802.11 A, B, for the wireless, we use this, right? So I was part of that committee, and at that time, so when this was before this was released, so we were developing in our company some wireless protocol.
Very good.
And then the MAC protocol which I came out with at that time, the company 250K for me to that IP, and they give me the ownership of the IP for me, and till I stay with that company. Only thing is that they gave me 5 years. I need to stay with them for 250K. After that, I left. I took that IP, and then I built the hardware on that was developed on a software. So I created hardware IP on that in Verilog, which was sold into another company for the first Wi-Fi chip, which was which was developed. So it was used by Mac. So Mac IP. So this was it is a simple thing. Same thing happening it used to happen in Silicon Valley. So that was the kind of culture which creates more and more ideas and more and more innovators. So that is the thing we are missing there. I think it needs to be. It takes time. And it takes time and effort and money and everything, and the attitude, the individual. See, that is the individual attitude needs to change, the openness and interaction. See, the person like you, I can see that, your honesty, your integrity and your humbleness, which is very important, Not so many people, especially in Kerala, people won't come and talk about this, your, past history, your thing. I mean, even now or even before, they just make their own stories, right? That is what, these kind of attitude need to change. They need to be genuine, honest, show the integrity and the humbleness, and show their power of their intellectual power, which is very good, and you showed that leadership to your team, and that's how you grew. I mean, ultimately, you will grow. It is meant to grow, because you are putting your effort and you are taking the risk.
Yeah, recently I got a call from one of my guy who want to develop something on the electric vehicle. That revolution is happening right now. I told him spend time on that, and you do a feasibility study on that and come back to me. He is working on that right now.
Very good.
So I am not using him. He is a very valuable resource, and he is a very very important resource for me. But I told the team that he will be out for 2 months now, and he will be coming back only after this. So we are not using him in any of the projects right now. He is working on, so he will be owning the product anyway. But I am supporting him with it because otherwise he will be thinking like, now I should resign and find it to do my own concept. So he will be owning that, but if it fails, he may not be able to come back to me and tell me that I do want to join back. So I told him, you don't need to resign right now. You just do a viability study, how it goes, and do a prototype and show it to me. I will help you to show it to investors. So that is what is happening. So that's a kind of culture. If then people believe that I have a future in this company, I can do something of my own, even though I am inside the company. That is something different. And we should be. I am open to everyone that even though somebody is doing something else for his own, you also have the opportunity to do that. There is some murmuring campaign will happen. If somebody will get an opportunity to do something of his own inside the company, then some murmuring campaign happen. When it started happening, I will call them up and tell them that if you have an innovative idea, tell me. You all get the chance to do that. So.
Right.
So anything else? I think I actually took your half day.
No, it's good that we are happy that we found time. Otherwise, it won't be easy, right, Jagit, over there, to find Joyce.
So that I mean that's the actual. We actually think that when someone becomes a celebrity, we don't get actually his time, but he's always available in phone. I guess. But still, his time is valuable, and I mean, spending 2 hours with us, it's a great opportunity for us, the whole team, to get to know you, to get to know you.
I added to you, but
finally, nobody asked you to run for election. Nowadays, celebrities are asked to.
I actually political activity too here. Directly in connection with political parties and those kind of stuff is there, but but they knew everything is now going. Just wait and see what is happening. Even
just concentrate on this. These political parties are don't enter too much.
I am involved in a lot of activities here, but. Some of these questions came in front of me before this election declared and all, but that is still I don't think I have the patience to do that. I knew it for some reason, because how the political leaders are suffering with their personal life. I knew that personally.
They will malign you. Don't. They're a different species.
Yeah. Also, the problem with these guys are ഞാൻ ഈ ഒരു തരത്തിൽ നമ്മുടെ ധനമന്ത്രിയായിട്ട് വളരെ അടുത്ത് ഇടപെടുന്ന ഒരാളാണ്. അപ്പൊ എനിക്ക് അറിയാം ഹൗ ദേ ആർ, എന്താ പറയാ, അവരുടെ പേഴ്സണൽ ലൈഫ് എങ്ങനെയാണ് റൂയിൻഡ് ആയി പോകുന്നതെന്ന് എനിക്ക് അറിയാം. ബിക്കോസ് ആളുകള് ഈ ധനമന്ത്രി ഇടയ്ക്ക് വീക്കെൻഡ്സിൽ എന്റെ വീട്ടിൽ വരാറുണ്ട്. ഞങ്ങള് ഒരുമിച്ചിരിക്കുകയും ഒരു 3-4 മണിക്കൂർ മിക്കവാറും ഞങ്ങൾ ഒരുമിച്ച് എല്ലാ വീക്കെൻഡും സ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് ബിക്കോസ് ഓഫ് പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ റീസൺസ്. He like to meet me, he like to spend time with me. Every week he will come to my house when he is in Alapi. അപ്പം ഞാന് പുള്ളി ഇങ്ങനെ വരുന്നത് കൊണ്ട് രാത്രിയൊക്കെയാണ് വരുന്നത്. പുള്ളി എല്ലാ പരിപാടികളും നോക്കിയിട്ടാണ് ഇവിടെ വരുന്നത്. വന്ന് പോയി കഴിയുമ്പോ it started in 2013 when he was MLA here only. ആദ്യത്തെ മന്ത്രിയായതിനു ശേഷം പിന്നീട് MLA ആയതിനു ശേഷമാണ് ഞാൻ പരിചയപ്പെടുന്നത്. അത് ഞങ്ങൾ രണ്ടുപേരും അടുത്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോഴത്തേനും he will not, എന്നെ കുഴപ്പത്തിലൊന്നും എന്നെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടിക്കത്തൊന്നുമില്ല. എന്നാലും എനിക്ക് ടൈം കിട്ടുന്ന സമയത്ത് പുള്ളി എന്നെ വിളിച്ചിട്ട് വീട്ടിൽ വരും. ഞങ്ങൾ രണ്ടുപേരും, ഞാൻ അങ്ങോട്ട് പോകാറില്ല പുള്ളിയുടെ അടുത്തേക്ക്. വീട്ടിൽ വരും ഇങ്ങനെ കൊണ്ട് എന്തെങ്കിലും കാര്യം സാധിക്കാനുള്ളവര്. അപ്പൊ പ്രശ്നം എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലായി ഇങ്ങനെ നേരിട്ട് എത്ര പേരോടാണ് ഇടപെടേണ്ടി വരിക, അവർക്ക് ചെയ്തു കൊടുക്കേണ്ടി വരുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചിലതൊന്നും ഒരു മന്ത്രി വിചാരിച്ച് ഒരു കാരണവശാലും നടക്കാത്ത കാര്യങ്ങൾ, വിചാരിച്ചാലും നടക്കൂല. അത് അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾക്കാണ് ഈ ആൾക്കാർ വരുന്നതും ഒക്കെ. അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ മനസ്സിലാക്കിയ ഒരു സംഗതി എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു പൊളിറ്റീഷ്യനായി ജീവിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളത് അത്ര എളുപ്പമുള്ള സംഗതിയേ അല്ല. എല്ലാവരെയും തൃപ്തിപ്പെടുത്തുക, എല്ലാവരുടെയും കാര്യങ്ങൾ നടത്തി കൊടുക്കുക. ഈ പൊളിറ്റീഷ്യൻ എന്ന് മാത്രമല്ല, പ്രത്യേകിച്ചും ജനപ്രതിനിധി ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു പൊളിറ്റീഷ്യൻ ജീവിക്കാൻ ഇച്ചിരി പാടാണ്. അയാളെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം അയാളുമായിട്ട് ചെറിയ പരിചയമുണ്ട് എന്നത് കൊണ്ട് മാത്രം ഈ ആൾക്കാർ വരുന്നതിന്റെ എണ്ണം, എന്റെ വീട്ടിൽ വരുന്നതിന്റെ എണ്ണം, ഞാനിപ്പോ അവരോട് പറയും ഐ കുഡന്റ് സപ്പോർട്ട് യു ബിക്കോസ് ഐ എം നോട്ട് ഇൻ ടച്ച് വിത്ത് ഹിം ഇൻ സച്ച് എ വേ. അങ്ങനെയല്ല ഞങ്ങൾ തമ്മിലുള്ള റിലേഷൻഷിപ്പ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് യു ഹാവ് ടു ഗോ ത്രൂ ദ പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ വേ, അതർവൈസ് യു ഡോണ്ട്. ഞാൻ ആദ്യമേ തന്നെ പറഞ്ഞേക്കും. പക്ഷെ വരുന്നവരുടെ എണ്ണം കണ്ടാൽ എനിക്ക് ആ ആളുകൾ എന്താ പറയാ പ്ലീസ് ചെയ്യിച്ച് ജീവിച്ചു പോവാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് ഗോയിങ് ടു ഹാപ്പൻ. എന്നെ പോലെ നടക്കുന്ന പറ്റാത്ത
അവരാണ് ബെസ്റ്റ് സെയിൽസ്മാൻ. പക്ഷെ കുഴപ്പമെന്താന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ അവരെ തന്നെ സെല്ല് ചെയ്യാനേ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. നമ്മൾ അവരെ കൊണ്ട് ഈ കമ്പനിയിൽ ഇട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ വേറൊരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് സെല്ല് ചെയ്യാൻ പറഞ്ഞ അവരെ സെൽ themselves.
സോ പൊളിറ്റിക്സ് നമ്മുടെ അടുത്തങ്ങ് നടക്കുന്ന നമുക്കൊന്നും പറ്റുന്നതല്ല എന്ന് നമുക്കറിയാം. കാര്യം നമ്മൾ ആൾക്കാരോട് എന്തെങ്കിലും പറഞ്ഞാൽ വി നീഡ് ടു ഡു ദാറ്റ്. അതർവൈസ് പൊളിറ്റീഷ്യൻസിന് ആ പ്രശ്നം ഇല്ലാന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു.
It's not a productive thing, it's just see, keep yourself, your integrity and all that. You can do wonders, what you're doing. That is the best way.
Okay, sir. Thanks for the 2 hours. Like it's a very valuable time. I'm actually inviting Soumya to deliver a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Jagit. Honorable Chief Guest, Directors, my dear colleagues, and all those watching this event. Thank you for being here. I thank Exalture for giving me the opportunity to express my gratitude on this special and memorable day. It is one of the biggest, most awaited days of Exalture. After several months of hard work and dedication, we have finally launched our Revamp website. First of all, congratulating to Joy sir and his team TechGensia for winning the central government's competition for developing the best video conference solution under the Digital India initiative. We wish you and your team all the very best. A big thank you to you for your efforts in blessing us with your presence today. You are an inspiration to us, not only technically, but also as a human being. You have fought against all odds in life to become a successful person. You are indeed an inspiration to all Indians. Sir, thank you once again for being with us today. I also would like to express my sincere thanks to Asi sir for giving excellent coverage on a big day. You have always been our motivator and mentor for all of us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I cannot thank each and everyone enough for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zone in building this website. I sincerely thank each one of you, my fellow experienced and others who have worked behind it, building the website we always wanted. Thanks again for making this event a success. We have come to the end of our section. Thank you all once again for being with us here. Thank you all.
Thank you.
So the meeting is dispersed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you everyone. Okay, bye.
Thank you, everyone.
ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളെല്ലാവരും ഓഫീസിലേക്ക് വന്നു കഴിയുമ്പോൾ I can come to there and meet you all. Okay.
Sure. Next time when I come, we'll all meet. Hopefully, we'll all be vaccinated.
Yeah, I can come and then നിങ്ങളെ ഓഫീസിലുള്ള ദിവസം. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Bye.
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Thanks.
I think, Joy, it was